Hey YouTube, welcome back. MDEX Music here. We're going to continue our series on decoding jazz as we dive into some melodic elements of Scrapple from the Apple. So one of the first elements worth noting is not something you'll see exclusive to Scrapple from the Apple or even bebop, but something you'll see throughout jazz and even in blues. And that's the idea that you don't start your lines or end them on the beat. You're going to come in usually on some sort of outlining or highlighting some sort of syncopation. That is to say, at the beginning of the phrase and at the end of the phrase, you'll see those notes usually land on ands. And of course, yes, there are exceptions, and there is actually one exception in the A section here. But if you were to just look at the first line in the piece, you're going to see it come in on the and. And then end also on the and of the beat in the next measure. So keep that in mind. You're going to see that in all the phrases we talk about today. So something else you notice about the melody in Scrapple from the Apple is each individual idea sort of stands alone on its own. It's sort of chopped up into little pieces, and these pieces aren't sequenced or facsimiles of some main thought. They are related, but they're not sequenced like you would see in some of the Beethoven stuff that we talked about. So there's a balance to them, and they're also quite angular. They're not as linear as some thoughts or ideas like we said before from the Beethoven that we have analyzed earlier. You're going to see these skips and jumps and these sort of sharp angles, not so much these smooth linear shapes to the melodies. And these sharp angles are probably a consequence of another element in the melodies, and that's highlighting these chord tones. So if you look at this first idea that we played earlier, a lot of the notes in that idea, the G, the F, the B flat, and the D, are all chord tones in the G minor 7 that the measure is built off of. And the only notes not in there are these approach tones, the F sharp, and this passing tone, the A. So this method of highlighting the chord tones while using approach tones and passing tones is partially why you see these more angular shapes. So another thing worth pointing out is, as with any genre, you're going to see these tendencies or these cliches or these words, a vocabulary that you sort of see used again and again. Ideas that sort of, they get recycled, and you see them almost all the time. And a couple of the words in the vocabulary of this bebop song are things like what happens in the first and second ending. Or what happens in the second ending of the A section also. You see the same exact rhythm and shape. So not necessarily about it being a certain interval formula or having to start on a certain note within the chord, but like I said, more a shape of starting here and then coming back again using these eighth notes. Like in the second ending, same shape, same word as was in the first ending. Another word you're going to see a lot is what happens in measure 3, how he highlights, like we said before, he highlights the chord, the G minor 7, and uses that triplet rhythm on the and. So just remember, these words and these thoughts and the bebop genre go hand in hand. All right, guys, so there you have it. That wraps up this installment of Decoding Jazz, all the melodic and harmonic elements of Scrapple from the Apple. Stick around next time. We're going to jump into rhythm changes and what that is and what that's all about. Click on the like button and subscribe. If you want to stay up to date on current content, also smash on that notification bell. Thanks for watching.